Excuse the COVID beard and COVID hair. I've decided that I'm just going to go with it. What do you think? Let me know in the comment. Actually, no, that's a really bad idea. That's just, yeah, that's not good for me or my self-esteem. Today we're going to talk about top tips for safety professional interviews. In all my years, I've been to so many safety professional interviews, and here's what I've learned. Let's go. Rebranding Safety. What's up, peeps? Welcome back to Rebranding Safety. Rebranding Safety does exactly what it says on the tin. We're here to change the perception of health and safety. We do that here on YouTube, and we do that over on the podcast as well. So if you're new here, hit that subscribe button and the bell and all those things that do crazy things on the algorithm. Today we're talking about interview tips. I've been on so many interviews for safety roles in the last 10 years. And I was very proud to, up until unfortunately not so long ago, to have been offered every single job that I got an interview for. Now, doesn't mean I'm unbelievably good at getting jobs and I'm just that amazing, because I've also been turned down from loads of interviews. And actually not so long ago, about a year ago, so 9 years into my career, I was really struggling to even get interviews. So by no means am I claiming to be an absolute genius and just the best safety professional ever. It was just a kind of proud thing that I had that got destroyed last year when I was in a very vulnerable place. Damn. Anyway, let's get into my tips. Oh, and if you stay till the end, I'm going to tell you a YouTube channel, which I found so helpful for interviews and really my day-to-day role. Okay, tip number 1. And guess what? This, like all the tips in today's video, is not specific to safety, because safety professional interviews are exactly the same as any other interview. So the top most important tip is confidence, confidence, confidence. Have some confidence in yourself. This job is for you. You need to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in you, they will not believe in you either. There was a great post on LinkedIn the other day by a lady called Julie Warner, who, shout out, she's a Saints fan as well. Oh, when the Saints. And she said, guess what? Your interviewers want to employ you as well, because they don't want to spend the rest of the day interviewing. They don't want to go back tomorrow and interview again and go back to the market and keep paying recruiters and so on and so forth. They want to go in, boom, first interview, be blown away and go, yes, I know. They don't want no ums and ahs. They want to employ you. They want you to blow them away. So go in there and blow them away. Now, if you're anything like me and you're typically stiff upper lip British, you're gonna hate this stuff, but it genuinely works. It genuinely works, and I've used it and it genuinely works. Some positive self-affirmation. And if you don't want to do it, you don't have to say it out loud, but at least think it. Think to yourself that this company need you. You don't need them, they need you. You are the safety professional they have been looking for. Nay, you are the safety professional they have been waiting for. You are qualified. You are competent. You are a strong communicator. You are a good influencer. You have the strengths they are looking for, and you are the right person for this job. Now, if you're not really into self-affirmation, you could just play that clip to yourself over and over and over again on the day of your interview, on the way to the interview, and just keep saying that to yourself. If you don't want to say it out loud, that's fine. If you don't want to say it at all, you could just replay this video over and over and over again until you hate my voice, or until you believe it, till you are confident. That is the most important thing. Let's jump on to the next tip. Tip number 2, before you go into this interview, try to think what you want to get from it. Interviews are no longer just somewhere where you go and they are looking for something from you. You are looking for something from them. You are trying to decide whether this is the right place for you. So go into this interview with a clear understanding in your mind of what you want to get from this interview. Tip number 3, and actually I think this is just as important as being confident, be yourself. And accept that some companies might not like you as yourself, and there is nothing wrong with that. They are not arseholes for not liking you, and you are not arseholes for not liking them. Some people are just not right for each other, and that's okay. But go in there and be yourself, because if you're yourself, you'll be more confident, you'll be more relaxed. And also, if you're yourself and they like you and they employ you because of you, then that company is more likely to be the right place for you. If you go in there and you claim to be a very technical safety professional, and actually you're not, you're much more of a people person safety professional, you're much more of a, like the softer side of it as opposed to the technical side of it, and they're like, yes, this guy's perfect, then you're going to get bored of that job really quick. and vice versa. If you're really technical focused, but they want somebody who's really soft focused, but you go, well, I really want this job or I need this job, then you're going to get bored in a couple of years, easy peasy, or worse, you're going to get really stressed. So be yourself. And again, like I said in the last tip, understand what you want from this job and what you want from this interview. It takes a lot of confidence to do that, but here's a great example, and it comes from a job that unfortunately ended up becoming a really, really bad job, but in the beginning it was a really good job. It was actually the most amazing job I'd ever had, and it was the most amazing team I've ever had, and that team I'm still in contact with now. The story of my interview goes like this. I had to get the train to London, so I got the train and I was wearing my suit, as you do, and it was bloody hot, and I sweat quite a bit, so I was like, oh god, I don't want to go in there really sweaty. Took my jacket off on the platform. Oh, nice fresh air. Woo. And then train comes, I get on the train, looking at my ticket, I'm like shimmying along, excuse me, oh yeah, sorry, that's my seat. And then they get up and it's really awkward, they have to pick their coffee up, and you know what I mean? Stressful getting on a train, man. And just as I'm coming in to get into my seat, the train starts to move, and I just watch as my jacket remained on the platform as I moved away. Ah, crap. So I get in my interview, and I get nervous in interviews like anybody else, don't get me wrong. The problem is, when I'm nervous, I make jokes and I mess around because that's my comfort zone. So be yourself. I went into this interview and I straight up was like, hi, sorry I haven't got a suit jacket. I left it on the platform and the train started moving and I realised, crap, my jacket's on the platform. So sorry I'm in a half-dressed suit. And Sarah and Mark, the two people interviewing me, they thought it was funny. We had a great interview that felt more like a chat, and we were having a laugh and a joke, and we were discussing their problems, and they employed me and I took the job. And we were an amazing team. We all got on so well. We had great nights out. We did some amazing work. We were all close. So shout out to Sarah and Mark. That was a great story of a great interview. Let's move on to the next tip, preparation. Now, loads of people talk about preparation all the time, but I'm talking about more than just researching the company. Do your research 100%, but go beyond that. Here's a couple of tips and tricks that I like. LinkedIn, amazing tool. Check out the people that are interviewing you if you get their names, and if you don't have their names, then ask for them. Check them out on LinkedIn. Scope them out. How long have they been working there? You know, where have they worked before? Scope them out. If you find them on Facebook, scope them out. Get a feeling for them. That can really help. And also, you might end up getting in a position where actually you feel like you know them a little bit before you're there, and that's a good thing. Try and see if you can run a trial interview. Me and my wife have done this for so many of our friends and family. Me and my wife are really lucky. We've had quite a lot of corporate roles and quite a lot of corporate interviews where a lot of our family haven't, and we've just said, hey, we'll interview you, and we don't hold back. I mean, I've interviewed my mum, my brother, some friends, and we don't hold back. We'll invite them to our house, and the second they knock on the door, that's the interview. We treat it wholly like the whole thing, and we'll invite them in and we'll say, yep, can you just sit down in there, and we'll invite you into the interview room in a moment, thank you very much. We'll have a table set up with some water, and yeah, and then we give them a proper interview. If you laugh and stuff, that's fine. Like, just pause, get it out your system, and then let's go. We're going to go back into reenactment. That's cool. It's funny, it's awkward, and it's fun. And when you look back at it, you'll think, oh yes, it's real fun. Glad we did that. If there's someone in your family maybe that you really want to, their opinion of you is really important, use them, because you'll be a little bit nervous. You want them to see you in the right light, and that creates nerves in your body, which are the same nerves that you're going to have at an interview. So whilst this is awkward, whilst it's fun, and again, if you're anything like me, then it's going to be really awkward, but totally worth it. Last tip, and actually, this is really hard. The confidence thing is really important. Be yourself is really important. I think this is really important as well. Normally, towards the end of the interview, they're going to turn around and they're going to say, have you got any questions? Now, a lot of recruiters will tell you, always have questions. Now, that for me doesn't go far enough. Don't just have questions. Get ready to interview the shit out of them. Now it's your turn to really grill them. You want to know if you want to work here. So have some real questions, really challenging questions prepared. Like, if you go and found out their values, then ask them questions around those values. How do they achieve those values? How do they see those values, you know, being enacted on a day-to-day basis. You start to work out whether those values are just bullshit or not. What are they going to focus on in the next year? What do they think my role is going to be on a day-to-day basis? What does my role look like to them? What do they think I should be achieving? What does the first year look like for me? You know, things like that. You might scope them out on LinkedIn. I've done this before. Scoped out on LinkedIn. One of my interviewers was working at that same company for like 15 years. And one of them was only in the first 2 years. I had 3 people interviewing me. So I went, you've been here 10 years. Why have you been here 10 years? Why have you stayed? And I tell you what, he stumbled a little bit. He really did. He was like, and if you don't like what they say, maybe it's not right for you. Really challenge them. You'll get a real good feeling as to whether you want to work there or not. This takes some confidence, 100%, but more so it takes preparation. Really scope out the company and work out, do you want to work there? And what do you need to know if you want to work there? And also, you get a sense of feeling whether this is important to you. Have they put all of these interviews so close together throughout the day that you've only got 2 minutes to ask questions? Or are they willing to let it go over? Because if they went to me, have you got any questions? And I start interviewing them, one question in, they're like, I'm really sorry, we're gonna have to cut this short because we've got another interview. I'm not gonna work there. Because you haven't given me the time. You've interviewed me for an hour, for 2 hours, for 3 hours, however long it is, for 20 minutes. But you haven't allocated any time for me to ask you questions? That's not fair, in my opinion. I don't want to work here. The last tip of this video is notebooks. Use a notebook, take a notebook. Do not be afraid to have shit in front of you and refer to it. This is not a memory test. Go in there with a notebook, with some stuff prepared, and don't be afraid to get it out and put it on the table. There's nothing wrong with that. So a lot of the time, interviewers, especially if they're competence-based, they're technical interviews, which 9 times out of 10 they are in safety, they're going to ask you things like, tell me about a time where you've had to dynamically assess risk or something like that. Tell me about a time you've dealt with a difficult employee. Things like that. You need to have stories prepared for that. And a really easy way to work out how to kind of present that story is STAR, S-T-A-R. S, situation. What's the situation? T is task. What was the task that needed to be done? A is action. What was the action that you took? And R, result. What was the result at the end? And don't worry if the result was not what you intended or not a good thing. You could then turn that around to say, and actually the result was, it didn't turn out how we wanted it to turn out, but we learned from that and we used it again. So don't just try and find things that are good, just try and find things where you've learned or you can use and turn to a positive thing. A little bonus tip, drink water. Don't be afraid to pause and drink water. Drinking the water on the table is a great way to buy yourself some time. Also, if you're really not sure, another great way to buy yourself some time, ask them to repeat the question. Even if you understood it and you need a little bit more time to think of an example, just say, sorry, I didn't quite understand that. Could you repeat the question? And then when they've repeated the question, then go, okay, thank you. I'm just gonna have a drink of water. Take a drink of water. Fuck me, you've brought yourself like a whole minute. Little bonus tip there for you. Okay, YouTube channel to watch. Oh, it pains me to send you somewhere else, but hey, I just want to help you, is Charisma on Command. It's a great YouTube channel for being able to have conversations, difficult conversations, to be able to be more charismatic, to be able to argue, to be able to debate, and so on and so forth. There's so many videos on there, not specifically for interviews, but how to be more kind of charismatic, I suppose. Really great channel, to go and check that out. Okay guys, hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you very much for watching and good luck in your interview. Let me know how your interview goes. And if you've got any tips for anyone, put them in the comments below as well. I'll catch you later. Safe.